Welcome back to the Pinball Party Podcast. This is Jason, your host, and with me is an absolute slice, Cale Hernandez. How you doing, Cale?
Man, it is good to see your face.
Same. Well, more so your hair, as we were just talking about. You're growing your hair out.
My hair's back.
Good.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't realize I had the ability to grow a little hair, and here I am. I know you at home can't see me right now, but you can check me out on. Yeah, you can check me out on the latest Electric Bat cast. I forgot what it was called for a second.
It's
Electric
called
Bat cast.
I think onlyfans.com/Electric Batcast, Cale Hernandez. Yeah, Go check Cale and myself out on OnlyFans. It's
HTML.
Gross. Yeah, it's bad. Like, ugh. Hey, I'm going to change the format of this pinball podcast. Not really change it, but one of my favorite things about great podcasts that I listen to is they start and then bam, going. So I want to do that. But today is, and we'll do it soon. Just a couple things, housekeeping as it were, as they say. Last week I started off like, I cut my thumb on a cheese grater. It's all healed up. It's good. But that really effed with playing guitar. I should have been thankful for that because this week I got laid off from my job.
Get fucked.
13 years. Oh. Fucking get out, bro.
Eat shit.
How long?
13 years.
Wow. Lucky 13.
It's a blessing in disguise for those who've listened to a long time. Software industry, video game industries everywhere, like layoffs are just like, oh, really? It's not special anymore. Everyone's just getting smashed. So I was part of it. NDA. So all I will say is they treated me well on the way out.
See ya.
But yeah, no, so that's weird. So of course, pinball machines up for sale. I had one. I was back buying pinball machines at Jurassic Park last week. That shit's already sold. They're picking it up Friday. It was kind of a 1-2 punch because I'm not like, hey everyone, let's listen to me complain, but just if you hear any weird little jabs at stuff or whatever, like, yeah, man, being laid off as of like not even 48 hours ago. On that note, in the meantime, while I look for new opportunities, which I don't, I'm lucky enough I don't have to like today get a job or I don't get to eat. The severance was good and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay, but I'm not gonna wait too long. But in the meantime, I'm gonna double down on audio stuff, starting with, so a couple podcast things. One, we're doing an extra episode starting soon with a buddy of mine. It's going to be deep dives into games specific, kind of like a review specific episodes / we're going to do pinball on certain games, but that will be for Patreon members only. We'll release some minor stuff on this main feed so you can get a taste for it and see if you want to subscribe more to that. But yeah, again, more than ever, patreon.com/pinball party. I'm going to be putting in more work into this. And if you want to support the show, that'd be awesome. We're going to keep going, but there's going to be more stuff and more reasons to join the club. Another announcement coming soon. David Teal, sound designer extraordinaire. It's like, I'm just going to reach out. I've talked about how I've wanted to get him on to talk about pinball audio, and he's my favorite out there. If you're listening, hey, David, oops, but I messaged him. I was like, dude, just please, whatever, heart on the sleeve. And he accepted. And when he's like, yeah, let's talk about audio. I totally ghosted him for like 2 days because suddenly I got laid off and my life was like turned upside down. And then he's like, he reached back out, thank you, and he's like, oh, hey, I checked out your podcast, good stuff, like I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot, man. No, but yeah, so we're planning that, hopefully really soon. So look forward to more audio talk on Pinball Party Podcast, hopefully get deeper into the stuff that I really want to know about the audio production. So yeah, TLDR, I no longer have a job, not quite homeless. Subscribe to the Patreon, look for more Pinball Party podcasts. And there is going to be another podcast I'm doing with two other sound engineers, kind of from Neon Dale, called Why Is It Like This? We're doing our first one tomorrow. I'll probably we are going to release the first couple on here just for everyone who wants to kind of get a taste of other stuff we do in life and check it out. But yeah, basically now I have time to do stuff I like more. So although farewell to a very cush job, financially speaking. Time to, I guess, live a little bit. But yeah, you know what that's like, living, Cale.
Oh yeah, that's all I do.
Shit.
I spent most of my life without a job.
How?
Well,
How
I
do you-
mean,
yeah.
I was playing. Well, I mean, I was playing music, so I mean, we
Right.
weren't making a lot of money or anything, but
But you
had
survived.
a lot of free time. Yeah, it's a vibe, man. Yeah,
And
I'm excited about the David Teal thing, man. I'm ready for you guys to nerd out over audio.
Yeah.
That'll be a real slice,
An absolute
slice,
if you will. Dude, yeah, no, I'm no offense to any other pinball, anyone out there. Yeah, this is going to be, I'm most looking forward to this. Man, I can't fucking wait. I got questions, I got answers, I got more questions. I'm just going to, anyway, look forward to that soon. I don't want to say when because scheduling and all that kind of stuff, but pinball though. Fuck. Aside from me selling a game, I'm looking at pinball notes I had from all these podcasts. You got Electric Bat Arcade in Tempe, Arizona, where come on. If you live in that area, you're not there, I think you shouldn't be listening to this. Get off your ass and go there. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars lately still, and I'm somehow falling in love with that game, and I don't know what's happening. You guys do or do not have a Star Wars on location at the Electric Bat?
No Star Wars and never had a Star Wars.
Is it due to, I mean, obviously the theme sells though, right? I mean, shit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody I've talked to who operates that game, it earns. I think it's a combination of just when it was released. So the first new Stern that Rachel bought when she started the arcade was Iron Maiden. So, it just didn't line up, to the Star Wars drop. And she's not a gigantic Star Wars fan. So
Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel.
Right.
Yeah, so we just never got it. But if we did get one, we would get the comic edition because I think that's the coolest looking one. What do you have?
What do I have? I got fucking nothing. I was about to have.
You were playing it somewhere?
Well,
somewhere else?
Yeah, me and Ian were. Doc Monday. Doc and I were playing because he's locally. Our selection is fewer, but there's always been a Star Wars. And I love Steve Ritchie. I mean, there's things I absolutely can't stand about the Star Wars game, but there's another side that I absolutely love because it's a challenge, and I like a challenge. So getting past all that, and the theme. I mean, I like Star Wars. So every time I'd play it locally, Star Wars Pro locally, and I personally like the Pro better than the Premium. For all those, you're fucking wrong. I've owned the Premium twice. I just get bent. Like I like the Pro better. We've played it locally, and he's got all these high scores. Doc Monday from Nudge Pinball locally. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why are you so good at this game? And he's like, this game for him, it's one of those games that just makes sense to him. Like he just hits the shot, and like I have certain games like that I'm just good at this game for some reason. And so I've been learning more about the rules that I already knew, but like just more like tips and tricks because he plays it so much. He has all these high scores. So I've been playing it more, and him and I played it together the other day. And I met a couple guys, Sean running the IFPA stuff at the place in Eau Claire, who's going to do a tournament in a couple weeks. So playing more on location, and the operator, one of the guys, John, hey man, if you're listening, who helps fix some of the stuff there, has keys to all the games too. So it's like, all right, let's just play for free locally. Fuck it. Like, let's just have a good time. We were hopping between games, and yeah, so playing more Star Wars, but I had a Star Wars Comic Pro lined up. Cause like, I want to beat the fucking Emperor in that game. I've gotten, I shouldn't say close, but close to like, I could almost see getting there, all the stuff you have to do. But man, what a challenge. And so I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get a Star Wars Pro in the home and just sadistically play that game, play it until I beat the Emperor, and then burn the game or smash it or get it out of my house. But yeah, the comic edition is a beauty. I've had the comic edition Pro in the past, but it was when I just wasn't in the mood for a Star Wars, and right now I am. But now I don't have any fucking money, and I don't have a job. So now, of course, naturally I want it even more. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, playing a lot of Star Wars lately, and man, I'm getting emails right now for podcast stuff. Should I read some of these emails, Cale, that people have emailed in recently?
Absolutely. Let's go with it.
Okay, because last week I talked a lot about music stuff. I don't remember. I'm usually rambling, but I did talk about some very influential music to myself. And for those who are like, why are you talking about music? I mean, it's probably not clear because I haven't done any meth stuff recently or some of the crazy sound editing. I'm a sound engineer on the side, been doing music my whole life. Cale's a musician. It's part of the vibe here. So if you don't like music, that's a bummer, man. But
change the channel.
Change the channel.
Yep.
If we were on cable, what channel would we be on? Pinball Party, you think? Because before you answer that, I think Electric Bat, you guys would sneak into like ESPN2 because you got like facts and legit shit.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. What would? Yeah. Well,
or there or like Discovery Channel, how it's made. I think Pinball Party would be Comedy Central.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll take that. Hey, man.
You have Meth, right?
Oh, yeah. Man, I wonder if I can get to Matt Andrews that did the Meth art and the Pinball Party. Him and I have talked about like kind of getting an animated thing.
Cool.
But it's so much money. My God. Google, do yourself a favor and Google like what it costs for a 2D animation per minute. Like, fuck. That's why if you want to see some Meth animated stuff like the flipping out music video on the YouTube, like it's South Park style, but you only have to use like Adobe After Effects and do some easy animation.
For sure.
But anyway, I was talking about influential bands growing up, and I want to actually ask you this in a second, Cale, but Todd wrote in a bunch of kind words. Totally enjoy your listening to your podcast. 12 Days of Christmas was fantastic. A correction, it was 12 Days of Balls, my friend. Job well done. Enjoy your band's tunes as well. Awesome, thank you. So he says he's about 13 years older than me, so of course the music is different, but hey man, whatever age. So for him, he's got 6 particular. Meet, Beat, Manifesto, Storm the Studio, Ride, Going Blank Again, Miracle, Legion, Drenched, Orbital, Orbital 2, and A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. So personally, aside from A Tribe Called Quest, unfamiliar with all of them. How about you?
Same. Yeah, okay. I didn't even know you were talking about music.
Just saying words. Yeah. Yeah, those are his most influential. All right, we got a Clark. Oh man, great name for a couple reasons. 3 reasons. 1, Clark Griswold. 2, Superman. I mean, come on. 3, my late dog's name was Clark, named after Clark Kent. He was one of our best family dogs prior to Mabel. Sorry, Mabel. Now she's the best, but she stinks today. All right. Clark says, I've been thinking about your music query. There's so much important music in my life. The Smiths are definitely one of the bands. Okay, legit. I would almost say Johnny Marr, the guitarist in particular, a big influence on him as a musician. The Cure, he's 47 for context. Let's see. Honorable, wait. Oh, there's so much here. There's so much good stuff here. Low Roar by the band Low Roar. Okay, never heard of it. Iceland. Okay, an Iceland band. I'd say as of late, I've been listening to a lot of indie rock, technical death metal, and electronic music. Technical death metal. Like, a lot of death metal is like very technical, especially the drums. You know, like the double bass and... Yeah, like
right.
The 2 best drummers out there, if anyone's ever looking for a drummer, go for either, and you're playing whatever genre, who cares? Go for a obsessive jazz drummer or an obsessive metal drummer, and you're good. Those are the 2 that are like, they take their craft serious. Honorable mentions: Burnt by the Sun soundtrack to the Personal Revolution, Mew, Frengers, The Beths, Trues. Yeah, like Tom Cruise with the first. So, Trues. Okay, Galactic Melt. That sounds funny. Meshuggah. Okay, thank you. Chaos Sphere, Destroy, Erase, Improve, or probably any of the records. I've seen Meshuggah live once. They opened for Tool, and although I appreciate the amount of like time signature changes and double bass they do, it's just like live is just like if the sound quality is not produced well, it's just like and it's coming from
right.
someone who can Man. And someone who just emailed in, sorry, that's why this prompted this. Just wanted to say, really enjoy listening to your podcast. Thank you. A lot of pinball for years. We got serious about, brought home Jurassic Park. Okay, great. Here is a super influential album for me that is a sleeper for most of the 90s punk rock era. Ooh, I got to click on it, so I don't even know what it is. 4 a.m. Friday by Avail. Okay, all right, gotcha. And someone else emailed in saying like, oh yeah, Green Day and Offspring and all that, like-minded. But anyway, thanks for writing in and all the ones I didn't read. Thank you for writing in. We'll get to them. Cale, what about you? What were your top 3-ish main music that got you where you are today?
Led Zeppelin. What was it? Led Zeppelin 4 with When the Levee Breaks, all that good stuff. Is that it?
I'm not
whichever album that was. So I was going through my stepdad's albums. Yeah, it still has an amazing collection and a huge stereo. So whenever my parents were gone, that's what I'm listening to, and I kept going back to Led Zeppelin. I mean, just phenomenal drummer, and I was a drummer at the time. So I remember listening to that all the time. And then at night, I, of course, couldn't rock out in the house, right? So I would grab my mom's car keys and grab a Led Zeppelin tape and run out and crank up the car in the garage. It wasn't enclosed, so I wasn't getting any carbon monoxide poisoning.
Thank you. I was
or anything.
Whoa, where's this going?
Yeah. It was almost like a barn, but
okay.
Man, I would rock that out all night. And then as I got into high school, I got into more heavier stuff, metal and somewhat industrial, because I found Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking, and was just blown away by this album. Grabbed some bootlegs and learned they weren't that great live. They were an amazing studio band.
Yeah.
But I love Stephen Perkins, the drummer on that, did some really cool rhythmic stuff. And then I started getting into Ministry, which is, saw them at Lollapalooza and just, fell in love and picked up all of their stuff. And then that fade into, when I started, after that, I started actually playing music, and I teamed up with a bluegrass band, which is completely opposite of all that stuff.
Sure,
they knew me, and they knew I had a drum kit, so they're like, "Hey, let's start a real band and start making some money." And that's when they pulled me into more Americana type stuff, like Sunvolt and Wilco. And Sunvolt Trace is still one of my favorite albums. Because
you said Americana, just Offspring's The Americana album, underrated. Totally different thing, but
yeah, not familiar with it.
You'd know a couple of the singles and stuff, but Offspring's strange like that. We'll get into pinball. Sorry, everyone's like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Fast forward. Agreed. Please fast forward. Last thing, but Offspring is one of those bands where people hear the singles and oh yeah, but it's not to be bro, I listened to them legit. It's not just their singles, but really their non-singles are much better. Very similar Tool, where they're just picking the stuff that the lowest common denominator can move their head to, but when you really listen to it, oh god, get you some. Okay, pinball. Let's get back to it. We got there because we were talking about David Teal and music and yada yada yada. And so there's segues here. Keep up. But back to pinball without a segue. Maybe I should shoot higher than David Teal and John Williams for Star Wars.
Jeez.
Hey man, yeah, hey guy. What do you think? You want to get on this podcast? We talk about pinball. You heard of it? No, never. Fuck.
So do you know what I really want to hear from David Teal? And I'm sure you're going to get into this. When he's mixing, is he listening through a pinball machine? Because that would make sense, right?
That's a question I'm wondering of who to ask. Where it's I mean that to those out there,
right.
you hear mixing and you're okay, whatever. But when you're mixing the speakers, the speaker placement, the room, and the materials around have so much to do with the audio that are you doing it on a pair of Genelecs and just then they sound good, but you put them in a pinball machine, it sounds like dog shit? Or are you listening?
Right.
Good question. If I forget to ask that question, and David, you happen to be listening, remember, because I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh God, I got to write this shit down.
Because you've probably done this same thing when I've recorded, I guess, 4 albums altogether, and you would mix in the studio with like very expensive speakers, and then mix it down, play it through like a jam box, and then you would take a mix and then listen to it in your car. And so I'm just wondering how that works when you're designing sound for a pinball machine.
Phenomenal question. I wrote it down before I forget. Yeah, and because what they're trying to do, Cale's referencing of when you're mixing on different speakers, is when you listen to speakers like high $10,000 monitors, they're basically there to just remove all the hype of bass and treble and everything and just give you as flat as you can so you can hear like what you're making. And then you put them in crappy speakers to be like, what will it sound like to someone who's listening to your standard Best Buy, whatever? Are they going to accentuate a frequency that might hurt your ears or make the bass crazy? Usually, yeah, or put it in a car. It will sound great in the mix in a room, and then you put it somewhere and it's just hurts your fucking ears and like, oh, it's like 4 kilohertz, like let's pull it back. The last studio we recorded in, it wasn't one of ours here, when we paid someone else to do stuff in Black and Bloom Studios in Denver, Colorado. They use Yamaha HS8s, very standard, but then they have these little like 5-inch dog shit speakers that are just like, you would never buy them, but you play it through there. And it's a good test to see, like, does it still sound adequate? No? All right, we got to change it. But I will ask David how he mixes.
And just for the record, that was all pinball related.
Yeah. I mean, if you think it wasn't, that's a you problem, not a us.
Yeah.
We're talking about pinball. It's in there. Jaws. All right. Yes, we've made it 23 minutes-ish in. We're talking about Jaws pinball. I'm honestly kind of sick of hearing about it, sick of talking about it, not like from a negative standpoint, but it's still continuing to just be kind of to me, because I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. Have you guys gotten to Jaws yet on location? Because the pros are going out there. I've seen a lot of pictures. What are you guys doing?
No, we should have it before the end of the month. So I really have no opinion on it. I need to play it.
Pro or premium? What are you getting?
Well, we always get the pro first. As far as Stearns go, we get the pros, and then after that, and we see the premium or watch a stream or something like that, or and if it's something we think's exciting, we'll get the premium. It all depends on Godzilla. Of course, we upgraded to the pro. I mean the premium. On Bond,
you kind of said it right. Anyway,
I know.
Yeah.
On Bond, we upgraded to the premium. On Foo Fighters, we stuck with the pro, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, both are great, but the arcades around us all went with the premium. And so we were like, well, let's just stick with the pro because, you play them differently. And so the people in the Valley here can get a taste of both. But we'll get the pro first as far as Jaws goes, and then kind of just hear what people are saying and watch some streams and decide if we want to get the premium.
I know people who have played it in real life, and say good things. I think the code's a little early, but I'm not going to go down the same old hat of like, oh, I don't know, the code's early, we can't shoot him in the mouth. I really, beyond like, I want to play it, before speaking too much. And really, like, let's leave it at that because there's been so much Jaws. We'll talk about it when it's going to beat it to death and it'll be old news. Looking at other pinball stuff lately, or before we get to other pinball stuff, speaking of Electric Bat, are you any other recent games you guys been getting in that are doing well, what do you guys got lately?
Well, yeah. So I don't know. Did I tell you we got a new Galactic Tank Force?
Can I ask why? Oh, you mean to fix the busted one?
Yeah.
Or you love the game so much?
No.
We want 2 of them.
No, they sent us a brand new one that they opened the box and played it. They had Steve Bowden play it for an hour before they shipped it to us to make sure this thing was working. And so they sent it to us. No questions asked, no money. They took care of everything. And then our distributor came and picked up the broken one and sent it because we had to take it off the floor. It just wouldn't work. This one is not perfect, and we can't use it in tournaments, and it does have some glitches still. You can't use the mechanical lock. You have to use virtual locks, and has some weird flipper issues.
What?
But this is light years better than the other one. Yeah, so that's there. It's cool looking. People are enjoying playing it. I don't think there are a lot on the streets. But most importantly, Elton John.
God, that's a game. Oh, I want to play so bad.
So this is the weird thing. I think we talked about this when it was announced. Like, why Elton John? I mean,
right.
Who other than the olds are going to be excited about this, right?
Yeah.
Man, everybody's excited about it. Every time we go into the arcade, there are people playing it and then people waiting to play it. Like still. And we've had it in there for 2.5 weeks. It is an absolutely amazing game. I think it's the best Jersey Jack. And most importantly, with the Elton John, with the theme, you would think it's a bunch of like old dudes like going, "Oh yeah, man, these are all the jams." We're finding like 20 and 30-year-olds going, "Oh, I know all these tunes." I guess just from listening, from their, at the dentist office or whatever. But
yeah. What? Why did you just pull that? You're not wrong though. It's timeless music that
right.
It rides that line like kind of like Michael Jackson, where again, diddling boys not cool. Yeah. Obviously, the pinball party does not condone diddling boys.
If he did that, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Supposedly, probably gross. Great music, but also like you'd hear it in an elevator. Elton John, same thing. Like you hear it in the dentist, as you say, or the orthodontist. We're not teeth racist. What the fuck? But Elton John also has incredible musician. But yeah, so. Timeless music, I believe it. Continue.
Yeah, so we have never seen a pin earn nearly as much as this thing has already.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, in the first couple of weeks, it earned almost as much as a new Stern would when it hit the floor for like a month. I mean, I think within the first 2 weeks, it actually earned more than Venom made in a month.
Get wrecked. I will.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's going to stick. This always happens with a new pin. And I think this one's going to have more legs than like your, Toy Story 4, Godfather. People are like really, really excited about this. Like real hardcore players are going, this thing is so much fun. And yes, the only complaint we've seen, heard is it's multi-ball heavy, which that's kind of Jersey Jack's thing. To me, that's fun. Okay. I like that.
If it's implemented well, I think. Yeah. I want to say, and I know that the Electric Batcast, go listen to it, great shit, is sponsored by Stern Insider Connected. Mm-hmm. The manufacturer that has been most in a positive light, kind, generous, forthcoming to this show has been Jersey Jack. So I would love to see that continue there. Of this isn't your sponsor for something. No. I mean, it's great. It's good competition. Mm-hmm. Go to the Electric Bat and just dump money in that Elton John, because I want to see the competition continue for Stern. It's good for the hobby, And Jersey Jack, I don't think there's a prettier game out there. Every time, those are the ones that I want to be great. I still want to play an Elton John so bad. I just can't locally. I was playing the shit out of Toy Story the other day, and there's some pictures. Oh, God, that Doc Monday and I have, because we're both on the scoreboard and we've been there forever. And for those out there, you play a Jersey Jack game, it takes your picture when you're putting in your name. So you can imagine, all right, we're in a medium-sized town. It's a kid's game. What's the name you're going to put in? Well, I'm going to put in penis. Cock, and the face you make when they take your picture is off-putting. So since we're good at pinball and we're, our names have been there for months, and it's just like parents probably walk by that fucking thing like, whoa, what? Can't play that game.
You are going to love this one because in Elton John, when it takes your photo, it puts flashy glasses on you.
Son of a
And it's like
bitch.
different glasses for every person. Oh, it's so good.
I need that. God damn. Yeah. But yeah, Jersey Jack, fantastic company. They pour their heart and soul and cash into these games. Again, I think the price point's high for a home buyer, and for me, again, I don't have a job. Subscribe Patreon.com at Pinball Party. So I can't afford that shit. I would love to play one. The closest one for me is an hour and a half. Is Elton John worth an hour and a half? I guess soon. Doc and I are gonna hit up Lit Pinball in Minneapolis soon when they get a Jaws because they have a Labyrinth right now. They have everything else kind of want to play, but we want to.
I think they have. Don't they have an Elton John?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they do. You're gonna love this one, man. Steve Ritchie's back, and it really kind of feels like he's kind of like showing Stern that, hey, look what I could have done if you gave me like unlimited bomb, right? But I mean, that doesn't always work out to where that makes sense. But I mean, you could really. I mean, it's got a little Elton John like playing the piano in the game.
Damn it!
I mean, he turns his head, he hits the keys. It's just it's insane. Yeah.
If someone said, pick a designer, what's your favorite game to shoot? The vernacular, take it or leave it. It's always Steve Ritchie for me. Except the only exception for me is Jurassic Park, but Star Trek, Star Wars, Black Knight, Spider-Man, even the original Star Trek Next Gen, like they're games that I just take the theme away. I would just I just want to shoot ramps and enjoy the kinetic satisfaction. The horseshoe shots.
I would put Foo Fighters in there too. That's a fun game to shoot.
Yes. Yep. Man, I forgot about that game. I like Foo Fighters. I do. But I think any music pin, even as a music guy, anyway, like music just gets old. So like, in any game after a while, it kind of, I don't know, because audio is like 50% of the whole thing. It wears on me a little bit. So I did change the Foo Fighters music in mine to like my own kind of playlist and did kind of like a Warped Tour thing. I even did a Neon Dale one for a while, but yeah, I agree. Foo Fighters shoots like $1 million. And it is a phenomenal game. I just played it for like, 72 hours straight. Took a day, 72 hours straight again, repeat for like a month. Like, okay, I've played that game to death. Holy shit. Yeah, if I had infinite money, Foo Fighters would be in the top 5 I would buy, for sure. Well, Elton John, again, clarity, we're not sponsored by Jersey Jack, just to make that clear, but they've just been very good friends of the show and of mine and all that. Go play Elton John, make those numbers go up so the competition continues, and then hopefully Jersey Jack makes Harry Potter and Matrix and shit like that we all want. So in the news lately, aside from all that Jaws stuff, random stuff. If you want your up-to-date news, feel free to come to the Pinball Party, but more so go to naparcade.org, KNAPP, arcade.org. Great guys running it. Jason, what's up? He was on the 12 Days of Balls. If anyone wants to listen to Balls, self-promotion, whatever. Little Shop of Horrors pinball machine is in the works. It's not doing a lot for me, but it'd be cool if it was cheap and great. I'm not sure that's... You put that next to Star Wars, I think Star Wars is going to win. Nothing against it, but let's wait and see. I don't know. Another new Australian pinball manufacturer doing a machine called 8-Ball Fury by an Australian company called Vector Pinball. Okay, so it's about a $7,800 US dollars game. Not a lot of information on, really just bland stuff, so let's skip over that. Go to Nap Arcade if you want to read more about this new non-brand weird game. Pinball Brothers, their Alien Topper is now in production. Have you guys had any of that type of stuff over there, like a a Pinball Brothers Alien or a Dutch Pinball Big Lebowski. You guys dabble?
No, and we won't. We have two friends who have the Aliens game, actually three, and man, those things are a pain to keep running.
Really?
Yep. Even
beyond
at
your
home.
standard. Sure, yeah, beyond the standard like flipper thing, just like overall.
Oh yeah, just all kinds of issues. I like playing it, and it's a really cool looking game, but I would never buy one.
Speaking of Jersey Jack, Gonzo's Pinball Flipperama YouTube channel. We've talked about it in the past. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite YouTubers next to Electric Batcast. He does kind of just, I don't know, I think he just turns on the mic and the camera and goes. I think he does some videography stuff in his real life outside of pinball, because he's really good at what he does. Or he's just
high
like
quality,
super high quality. Great. He was interviewing Jersey Jack Pinball's Jack Guarneri, and they talked about how they have 3 games coming up or in development, including Steve Ritchie's next game. Man, I hope it's something like, man, maybe they got the Star Trek license over at Jersey Jack. Holy shit. Think of a Jersey Jack Star Trek game. My God.
right?
That thing would just, that'll light up the whole arcade. Your whole house would just be, blinded by the light. They did, so 3 games in the works. Steve Ritchie, hopefully something like that, or Maverick or Matrix. Holy shit. I'm making myself stiff over here. All right. Loser Kids interviewed Keith Elwin. Yeah, go listen to the Loser Kid Pinball podcast. I'm not going to spoil that. Go check them out. Good guys over there. Some Zen Pinball stuff in the news. Virtual machine. Yeah, it's kind of like it's what happens when a really popular game like Jaws gets announced, and it's the beginning of the year, aside from last year, which was like, here's 5 games that came out, go to TPF and whatever. Right now, it's like kind of in this lull period. But Jaws, man. Do you think, does a game like Jaws drive people to the Electric Bat? Do you have are your clientele well versed enough?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, big time. We actually yesterday or the day before yesterday, there was a couple that comes to the arcade, and they live a good 45 minutes away, and they were there playing Elton John. And they said they came out hoping that we already had Jaws. So our players are very well in tune. They're all waiting for Jaws. Last night at the pinball tournament, they were all asking about when is Jaws coming, and we just said before the end of the month. So yeah, they're very well in tune to that. Man, I forgot to tell you. You were talking about Jersey Jack. I totally forgot to tell you this. Our friend Ken Cromwell.
Yeah.
He marketing guy. He's like the head of marketing, right? At Jersey
I think his
Jack.
title is he's the shit.
He's
head of marketing.
great.
It's fucking awesome.
So I messaged him and told him how amazing Elton John is, and asked him if I could get a banner so we could do like a giveaway. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I told him how well it was earning. So he immediately called me and he said, Cale, I'm here in the office. I have Steve Ritchie with me.
Nah.
And I think it was Brett. I couldn't hear. I believe Brett, the guy who owns Jersey Jack, he had the owner of Jersey Jack and Steve Ritchie right there on the phone. We had a conference call. And they they were thanking me for everything I've done to promote the game, and it was super cool. Just a call from Steve Ritchie and the boys, no big deal.
NBD.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, shit. They've invited us as in Pinball Party to come on site, do a tour, do a podcast there, which we will. Just time and stuff line up. So yeah, like honestly, I'm gonna. I know what I'm going to name this episode, but yeah, go support Jersey Jack. There's nothing against it. The price is the only thing, and the Pinside Warriors, I mean, they know the price. I mean, they're not dumb people. They're not like, why doesn't everyone want to pay $12,000 for everything? I mean, yeah, and with
but
everything changing
so much.
What's that?
You're getting so much, with this. I mean, this is basically, that starts at LE,
Yeah. Not all of us have. Yeah, I mean, you guys have an arcade, and it's a little like you can kind of get some money back on kind of stuff. But if it's a lot of home buyer stuff, like the stuff that goes through a lot of our heads. If I'm looking at Elton John, which I would love to try, and whatever, pick any of them, $12,000, God. Versus if you go bottom of the barrel, if it's like for me, like a player, I want to play the game. I don't need to have a showpiece in my house to be like, look at my pool table and to look at everything. No, I want to play this fucking game. Versus like right now, listening to me say a Star Wars Pro, if I got on the used market, somewhere between $5,500 and $6,000, I could get 2 of those. Which they're not as good quality or whatever, but like I could play them just as much. Or like $12,000, and then when I got to sell it, how much money am I going to lose? And I don't have a job. Laid off. Pinball Party Podcast, Patreon. Go give me money. So
that's one thing that sucked about Godfather. I mean, like why buy new in box when you can get one for like, a slightly used one for like $2,000 off, right?
Yeah. Right. It's same with a lot of those. Not a lot of those, like the boutique, the aliens and stuff like that. And now I will put a little positive nugget into the used market of I got a Jurassic Park Premium from Flippin' Out Pinball. I buy from Flippin' Out. You should. And Flip and Trade, go to Flippin' Out Pinball. Even Electric Bat, you guys have worked with them in the past. Zach, he's great. Fucking Flippin' Out
we ordered
Pinball.
our Pulp Fiction from him. And
hell yeah.
Supposedly they're being built. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Bought a Jurassic Park because I'm like, whatever. I want to start having a game, and that's my favorite game to play, speaking of. And then the wrist tendonitis started acting up, and my brother-in-law, who is a sports physician, physical therapist and all that, was like, because it came back, long story short, he's like, it's probably the pinball. And I was like, fuck, good. So I listed it back for sale. And then the next day, I got laid off, Pinball Party, Patreon.com. And I was like, I definitely have to sell this machine. So the positive nugget is the used market is still working for games that people like. As in like you're not losing a ton. It's still like what you'd expect pre-COVID or a normal market. There's demand. There's some games out there that have been, you and Rachel don't do a lot of Pinside used listings, so maybe this is not really up your alley. But for those who do, there's some games that get relisted. Like there's this Tron in New Jersey, which I would love it to have it. It's been relisted like 11 times, so it's just been sitting for like a year and a half. Mine sat for like 2 days, and then I sold it. So, but you can't be stupid out there if you're selling used games. Don't be like, I know what I have. It's worth $2,000 more than everyone else thinks it is. That's not how it works. It's not. Just be smart at selling your stuff, and it is. So the used market is not broken quite yet. Do you, Cale, have a Tron on site?
No, but I would like to.
Have you had one in the past?
No. A local arcade, Starfighters Arcade has one. And we play one there.
The 2 games to me, because of the recent 3 games I want to play right now. If locally, I'd hang up on you. See you later and go play. Labyrinth, Elton John, and Tron. Tron has remained the steady, like, maybe because it's like unobtainium. It's just so like rare to be out there. God damn it, I'm just realizing since I don't have a job, if they do a Tron remake, I can't even fucking buy one. God damn it, dude. All this shit's fuck. Or if they remake Lord of the Rings, I'm fucked. God damn. All right. So I want to play those games. Anyone tell me if there's a Tron closer to me than Minneapolis, but I don't think so. I want to play Tron. I just want to play it. I don't need to own it. I just want to play the shit out of it for a while. Damn it. Hold off. Last time I talked about my wish list for 2024, I'm going to revise it a little bit. Some of my wish list was come out with Matrix and, yada, 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 take criticism as intended and some of that. Hold off until I get a job, a consistent paying job outside of audio production stuff, to release Matrix, Harry Potter, any sort of DMD remake that may be music related. what was the one I started with? Oh, Lord of the Rings or Tron. Just hold up for that one buyer. Hold up for that one buyer, please, to all those companies, because I can't. God, how sad is that? Son of a bitch. Damn it. Well, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Or
do you like Metallica?
Yeah, I do. And I, oh God, yes. So just let's have that happen. Let's have that happen, but let's have that happen once I get a job. And okay, so can I address some Metallica rumors? Do you mind?
No, let's go.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I've heard various Metallica rumors. One, that they're going to release a Metallica. Is it going to be a DMD, clone? Is it going to be a Vault? Don't know. Is it going to be a remake? Okay. Is it going to be is it like a Metallica 2 in a way where there's like Star Trek The Next Generation and then there's Star Trek Stearns, where it's like, okay, you see some of the love there, some of the similarities, but it's a totally different game. I hear both on Metallica, and with Gomez recently speaking on the Super Awesome Pinball Show, which was a phenomenal 2-parter out there. Like, my God, well done. All the information they had. He's talking about how the remakes and all that kind of stuff, or however he used his words, that the more recent-y stuff is easier. Spike, Ghostbusters and all that, and how the further back you go, the harder it gets. So Metallica, there's heavy rumors out there that they're going to, I'll say remake it, but I've also heard not exactly the same game.
Yeah, I think remastered is the proper word there. I mean, I think you're.
I like that.
I have no idea. Nobody's told me anything, but you're probably going to see a completely different game, and with a name like Metallica Remastered. With a LCD, and I don't think they're ever gonna like remake a DMD game. I think these are gonna, if they go back and do older titles, it's gonna be more of like a remastered game, like new design, new code. That's just my guess.
Sure.
But I think that's what you're gonna see with Metallica is like an upgraded version of the original, a remastered version.
I would be. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. If someone said, "Hey, what would you like?" And
there's nothing we can do about it, Jason.
Correct. We can't control it, so don't get upset about things you can't control, or you have, I would love it if it was the same. Like, basically, take the same playfield, improve whatever needs, just like tweaking the snake, whatever. Plop it in a new shell, like a Spike 2, maybe even a Spike 3, shell. Like just new LCD. For fuck's sake, give me Metallica in stereo and hi-fi. Like, what? So that, of course. So if they just vaulted it, right, you would have a mono Metallica, which was my main problem with the game. I love Metallica. I like everything about it, but like after a while, like I want to hear the music. So take the playfield, fix whatever you need to fix, just tweak it, put it in the new thing. New cabinet, same art, is fine, and just LCD, whatever. So when they say remaster, now, if it was, hey, we're going to change the songs and all that, update it with like 72 seasons and maybe refuel if you want to do some weird shit, and Garage Inc., Saint Anger, you want to just burn the bridges and all that, you do that. But if they completely redesign the playfield, I know that some say it's chopping wood, sure, but it's very popular for a reason. So I think if they remaster it, I would personally hope for a totally different thing, so that the old games still retain their value. It's cool to have either, but if it's like, oh yeah, we took it and I don't know. I guess I'm of two minds, because if they take the exact game and just upgrade everything around the playfield, the original game will just probably lose value, because like it's just literally not as good.
Right.
If they remaster it to like what you're saying of like it'll be a different game, I wonder if it'll do as well then, because the game was great, but I don't think it was only the theme. Like a lot of people really like how simple the rule set was. Do you have Metallica on site?
We did, but the amplifier board literally melted, so we pulled it.
Did you have a Pro?
Yeah, it was a Pro. Great game. Everybody loved it.
My point, right? So if they remaster it, and like, oh, people loved it, but we totally changed it. What?
Yeah, this is going to be a completely different game.
You think
100%.
like just like it has no resemblance? It's like, oh, huh?
Just the music, probably.
Yeah. Well, man, 72 seasons. The new Metallica. Oof. Like Metallica, for those, I mean, there's the diehard fans, and then like, oh, every song's great. It's not true. Or like I only listen to Ride the Lightning, and there's like literally no bass guitar. But I'm not necessarily a fair weather Metallica fan, but my point is their new song, new-ish as of last year, Metallica 72 Seasons, the title track is on my gym list, and it's like when I'm doing like weighted pull-ups, and it's like the third set. Like the first set is kind of tough. Second set, you're like warmed up, and I'm like, all right. And the third set is like, oh, fuck. That's where the Metallica comes into play. 72 Seasons, turn it on, crank it, and just use metal to get through that. 72 Seasons. Holy shit, that song is so good. Speaking of gym, I was in the sauna today after I did a pull workout, right? Weighted pull-ups, some rows, dumbbell curls, and then some more accessory stuff. And since I have more time, I'm going to do some more two-a-days. I'm on the treadmill. You text me. I say I'm on the treadmill. You went to wrestle. I'm in the sauna. The point is, I was talking to a guy who's in there just sweating balls. And I just started going in the sauna, so I'm a 5-minuting it to like get used to the heat. He's clearly been in there for like 6 days, shriveled to shit.
Yeah.
He teaches wrestling, and I think some jiu-jitsu locally. So I brought you up. I was like, oh, I know this guy in Austin. And but he goes in the sauna. He was in there for 40 minutes, by the way. Like, holy shit. He's looking at his heart rate, and he's basically trying to get it up to like 150, 160. And that's what he does in the sauna. Like, not in lieu of cardio, but he said for him, it helps with inflammation and shit. Man, you do cold plunge, but are you a sauna guy?
Very rarely. We have a sauna at the other gym I go to, and I very rarely do it. I'm more into the cold plunge. Sauna's great. The best thing is to have, if you have both of them in the same facility and you go back and forth. But I don't have that. I'd have to get in my car and go back home, then go back to the gym.
Yeah, the sauna. I get lightheaded pretty easy in heat, and we're So I'm trying to desensitize myself. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But everyone out there, go take care of yourself. Physically, man, it does so much better than drugs. I mean, the dopamine is so much more consistent with working out. Oh, and I speak from experience. I've done both. I've done both at the same time. Also, kind of a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm surprised by, man? I don't know if it's like in like a jiu-jitsu gym, but there is so many potheads at like your standard weightlifting gym, just because the smell. So I mean, like I get it, like. Sometimes when you're high, you really get into whatever it is, art, music, movies, like, oh yeah. And I get it. I've done it like, all right, I'm going to go do bench press. But it's like, yeah, but like, I want to do like a third of the weight. Cause it's like, yeah, man, fucking bench press. But some of these fuckers just blaze. Bloodshot as shit eyes, higher than a fucking kite. Like they did a few gravity bongs. They stink like just skunk. And it's like, right on, bro. And then they go out there and they're just smashing deadlifts, like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Ow. How's that working?
It's a mixed bag. I mean, I'm working out at actual like a hardcore MMA gym. Like, we have world champions rolling through there. So, I mean, we see it all. Every once in a while, you're, grappling with a skunk. I mean, you can tell this guy was hitting the bong on the way there.
Yeah.
There's some steroids here and there.
Of course.
A lot of, sometimes some drinking. I mean, not while you're training, but I mean, these guys are crazy, man. I mean, they get in a cage and fight other trained killers.
Fighters.
Man.
Yeah.
These guys, they just do whatever. I mean, almost nobody is clean.
No. Yeah, that was my other thought. Now that I'm unemployed, should I start selling tea to like these SARS goblins? For those who don't know, basically,
Right.
should I sell testosterone to high school people who don't think that certain high school gym rats, the bros, the mustache, and the big bubbly
Man,
arms?
it's weird how popular that is now. I mean,
Yeah.
like 20-year-old kids on testosterone. I mean, they're
It's
gonna.
insane.
It shuts down your nuts, and then they're gonna end up. They have to do like TRT for the rest of their lives. You know,
That's what I'm saying. I should sell them that.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, what's
Yeah.
up? Come here.
You're the plug. You're the T
Yeah,
plug.
yeah. What's up? They call me
Yeah.
T-Plug. I do a pinball podcast and I sell tea to fucking underage kids. I mean, because, right, that could work. That could be my job. I could
Hell
make some
yeah.
good cash.
Yeah, I know people that do it.
Yeah. And every time I see them, I'm just like, man, you're looking swole. And then when they, after a while, like, whoa, you're looking a little flat. You know, you might need
but
to.
you also need your post psychotherapy stuff and Accutane to take care of the
Okay.
acne. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
make sure you have everything.
And I mean, once I'm in it for a couple months and they know, like, I'm going to cut all that shit with like baking powder and like syrup.
Oh, for
and
sure,
stuff. Like,
for sure.
You know, I got to make money. I got a living. You know, I got to make a living.
Now that we're on the topic, I listened to you and Doc Monday's podcast, and thank you for the kind words from both of y'all. I am not on any kind of PEDs, and I never have been.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's like, that dude's Jack. Speaking of Doc,
so
yep.
I did. I asked my doctor when I went for a physical. I don't know, about 2 years ago. It was like right after they let us leave the house after COVID. I was like, I'm gonna go get a physical.
Yeah, I want the tea.
Yeah, I asked my doctor. I was like, can I get some testosterone? And he looked at me and he's like, are you having some kind of problem? And I was like, well, no. But I was like,
But
I'm
give me
at
it.
the time I think I was like 47. And
Sure.
I was like, but I hear guys at my age are doing that. He's like, well, if you're not having any problems, I'm not going to give you any. And that was the best. That's a good doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never touched this stuff.
Doc looks good, by the way, in person.
Good. I'm glad. He sounded good on the podcast. He sounded clear headed. He sounded like a different person.
Yeah, he looks legit. Not that he didn't before, but like he was, for those, what are you talking about? You losing weight, all this kind of stuff. He publicly talked about it. Go listen to the 12th Day of Balls podcast in your little podcast feed. You'll see it with Doc Monday. But yeah, man, looks great in person, healthy. Like he's consistent. He's doing his thing. So good for him. And you can notice the mental like change, just like, oh, whoa, look at that. I'm happier. Yeah, look what happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So important to take care of yourself.
Yep. All right, so keep me
Back
in check.
to pinball.
Yeah, again, still pinball related. I mean, the amount of muscles it takes to flip those flippers, and we're talking wrist tendonitis. This is all pinball. Again, if you don't like it, that's your problem. We're just giving you what you need here. Keep me in check. Again, audience, email in at pinballpartypodcast.com. If a few months from now I just desensitize myself and I'm selling tea to SARM goblins and I'm about $140 weight right now because I'm short. I got a small bone. If I'm suddenly 300 pounds and I'm jacked to hell, like check me on that. Like if I go down some dark rabbit holes. But yeah. In the meantime, let's get out of here. Let's go live our lives. I won't go back to work because again I don't have a job. If it's patreon.com/pinball party podcast. But yeah, Cale, thanks for joining. Everyone else.
Oh, hold up! I got a news flash.
Give it.
I got a message from one of my sources. Aimtron is looking for a buyer for American Pinball.
Holy shit.
That's
okay.
And I got a little backstory, but I can't give it away because it might give away my source. But it's legit.
Okay. Okay. So for the as in American Pinball is in trouble, or as in
what? You don't really try to sell a company that's not in trouble, do you?
We're doing great. A recent hit, Galactic Tank Force, sold through the roof. Let's fucking cash that stock.
Yeah. So I guess we'll leave everybody with that. You guys figure it out.
Yeah. Nice. Figure it out. It's been an absolute slice. Go to the Electric Bat. Electric Bat Cast, Electric Bat Arcade in Tempe, Arizona.
Yep. ElectricBatArcade.com.
Yep. Get the t-shirt, the glow-in-the-dark stickers, all that. I got a few. I got one on this microphone here that I'm tapping that I'm not going to even edit out. And they're like, why are you that thumping? That's my fucking microphone. Tapping a sticker. Promoting over here. Doing my goddamn job. God, get off my fucking sack. So, listen to upcoming David Teal. Will be on the show. And then we have another podcast coming where we're going to go deep dive into certain games. More on that, but you're going to have to subscribe to Patreon to get full access to that. We'll give little teases here. And then, again, another podcast coming for a totally different realm, not podcast related whatsoever. But I'll release them on here if anyone wants to listen for a couple episodes, and then they'll be on their own. They will be on their own RSS feed to begin with anyways, but totally unrelated, nothing to do with pinball, but it's coming from 3 sound engineers, so it'll be good. Yeah. Look for that, and look for us next time on the Pinball Party Podcast. This is Jason and Cale, and see ya.
And per usual, it has been an absolute slice.
Yeah, it has.